Hello, my fellow quilters, and this is the next installment in the quilt along that I'm doing with a group of my quilt guild. And like I posted previously, we are doing Billy's Sampler. It's from Great American Quilts of 1989. And the Billy Sampler is, when you look at these older books, you will see your patterns as grids. There are no instructions. You just get this block with this grid layout. This grid layout is 12 by 12. The blocks in this sampler here is 12 by 12 with 3-inch sashing, as we've said before. But how does this work? Well, each one of these grids is a sub-block. And since it's 12 by 12, so each of these sub-blocks is 1 inch. I learned to grid quilt when I was beginning to quilt a long time ago, and it's something that people don't do any longer. We pay for these simple patterns that tell us to use a jelly roll to cut 27 strips 3 inches long and so on. But we pay for that. And if you go back to these antique, or not antique, but older quilt patterns, you will find them in a grid. This allows you to do anything. If you make each one of these blocks 1 inch, you get a 12-inch block. If you make each of these blocks 2 inches, you'll get a 24-inch block. So that's how it works. And it's really simple, and you choose how you're going to make each one of these blocks. So I wrote an article, and I'm going to post it with this video on the basics of grid quilting, because there's some very simple things. The grids can be any size. Pixelated quilts for pictures, where you get instructions and it does the same thing. You chop your picture down into smaller squares, and then you sew larger versions of that square to pixelate your quilt to become the picture. And it's that simple. And you can make them any size. My quilt, the people who I always followed quilting was Jenny Beyer, Virginia Avery. I loved Sue Garman, and I was sad. Jenny Beyer's now retired. Virginia Avery's passed away. But there's so many of these old blocks. Nancy Page, Nancy Cabot produced blocks for the Kansas City Star for many, many years. And all these blocks are free for you to use. And you don't have to pay. You can use your choice of fabric. And the reason they did this was back in the early days, fabric was much more scarce. So you couldn't go to your local quilt shop and all of you get Kona cotton blenders. Or whatever. It was in Nashville, Tennessee, you might have some calicos. In New York, you might have other fabrics. So you would choose your fabrics based on availability and how you wanted your quilt to look. As you can tell, this one is done in 1970s colors. I made the joke, it's avocado green, harvest gold. teal, steel blue, and it reminded me of a sofa that I had growing up. So it gave me inspiration. So I'm going to show you some of these grids and we will discuss them. And I hope this helps you move your quilting in a more budget friendly and find inspiration, because you can use anything to create these grids. It's just simple grids. And there are several widely used ones which I talk about, but they can be any size. They don't have to be a specific size. You can have a grid of 100 by 100 if you want. And if you make 1-inch blocks, it'll be a 100 by 100 inch quilt. If you make 2-inch blocks, it'll be a 200 by 200 inch quilt. It's simple as that. And it makes the math easier as well. And you have to give and take your math as well. That is one important thing, because sometimes you might have a 9 patch and it come out that you want 4 strips. Well, that's going to give you, I think, 1 3/4 or 1 2/3 or something like that. Strips that you have to cut. Well, don't do that. Just go to a 6-inch, and then you want 3, it'll be 2-inch strips. Simple as that. You just have to adjust. And if you stay in the same combinations, even if your blocks are different size, you can make them fit together by doing staggering and doing filler blocks. You can do so many things. So let me show you these blocks, and I'll post this with the video. I hope you enjoy reading it. It's not as complicated as it sounds. It's a simple 4-patch. And like I said, if you make this 1-inch, each of these blocks, you're going to have a 2-inch finished block. If you make it 2 inches, your blocks, you're going to have 4 inches. If you make these 3 inches, it's going to be a 6-inch block. Simple as that. But what gets more interesting is when you use a combination, and we get this. This is still a 4-patch, but this is a bigger one with smaller ones, and they can become more complicated and give you a whole entirely different look and feel. But this is still a simple 4-patch. So if you made these 1 inches, so this would be 2-inch, 2-inch. So this would be 2-inch for doing, and this would be an 8-inch block. See, 2, 4, 6, 8-inch block. If you made these 2 inches, so it'd be 2, 4, 8, 12, 16-inch block. Simple as that. Simple math. Nothing complicated. But then we can get even more complicated with these. And this is a 64 patch, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 patches across and 4 patches down. And you can see now how you can make a more complicated block. And by using this technique, you can make everything from memory stars to carpenter wheels. All of the patterns are out there. So these are the main 4 patches. Then we go to the simple 9 patch. Again, 2, 4, 6 or 3, 6, 9 inch block. Simple as that. All you have to do is calculate. And here's more complicated, which will give you your chain. And I divided these so you could see, but usually you would just make this 1. So if you use 2 inch, this is 6 inch, so this would be a 6-inch block here. I just did this so you could see the 9 patch in it. And then we get, this is a 36 block, but it's a combination 9 patch, or it can be a 4 patch. See, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it can be a 9 patch or 3, 4 patches. However you choose to sew, it doesn't matter. But this is a modified Jacob's ladder, but this is 6 by 6, so this is a 36 square. The other ones are 25, which are based on 5 patch blocks, 5 by 5, and then you have a 7 by 7, which is a 49 square block. These are the standard squares. So I hope you read the article. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and we can help you. We can try. I think it's a very simple way of quilting. It is also one of the reasons I don't strip quilt. I make one block at a time, which for me makes me feel like I completed something because I completed a block. I completed another block instead of sewing and sewing and sewing and then all of a sudden have a quilt done, which is one of the things of strip quilting, but some people think it's faster, some people don't. So it's your choice. It is how you choose to quilt. I'm just trying to give you options. So I hope everyone has a good week. Next we'll start with our blocks. I'm working on the first 2 blocks for this month. I haven't even decided how I'm going to make them because there are so many options on how you can make a block and nothing is wrong. So everyone have a great week and we will see you later. Bye.